Welcome to Meta Tripping, y'all. This is the weekly Ascension for the week of October 7th, 2019. All right, y'all. Happy Moon Day. In the past, I kind of used to have lengthy intros, and I think I'm working through that now because a lot of the information can just come up as you go along, and I think it's in everyone's best interest to keep information kind of succinct and focused, since this channel is more so concerned with practical metaphysical applications. All right, y'all. So we're actually going to launch right into Monday, and I will have the time and date stamps listed. But I will give the weekly theme first, which is I accept myself. That is on, how would I describe it? Like on the lower nodal level. We'll be experiencing that in the different situations that arise, day-to-day mundane situations that arise. Challenges that arise will also be along those lines. But when we go to a higher nodal thing, it's more so you decide your purpose energy. So this is where awakenings are going to be taking place. It has some degree to do with how you handle kind of the mundane day-to-day that kind of helps to establish your timeline. You know what I'm saying? The timeline you're on and what you're building on it right now. But the challenges affect your evolutionary core. All right. So the challenge energy that comes up is going to be in line with the mundane, but the challenges that come up that push us forward more in our development are also along that same wavelength of that same frequency. All right, y'all. So if you've been listening to the channel for a while, you know what I'm saying, this format probably makes sense to you. If you're just tuning in, I kind of, I channel from spirit, and I kind of get into the solution end of things. So this is of primary interest for those who want to kind of put this into put the information that's received into action, or those that are, just tuning in to gain some, new information. I mean, that's another way you can utilize it. But this is coming direct from spirit. So when we're talking about these binary points that come up each day, these dimensional binary points that are balancing out, it helps you to understand or comprehend the energy waves and frequencies that are coming through. And then the Quantum Root Oracle card that is pulled lets you know kind of what the energetic pathway is in these situations. That helps you to raise your vibration, raise your frequency, even step out of binary, so to speak, even push through binary, you know what I'm saying, to another level. It all depends on your readiness and where your mind is at, and how much you apply yourself on the evolutionary, on the intentional evolutionary tip. All right, y'all. So Monday we're dealing with 12D to 7D energies, and the quantum root card that came up for that day is You're Allowed to Cry. Now, when this card comes up, it's for self-care applications, quantum self-care applications, that is. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to release tears. This is just an indication that there's a lot of energy shedding going on. And I know it's a waxing moon cycle, but there is a lot of energy shedding going on. Energy shedding, when you're releasing, this makes room for what's next, what's beneath it. So the things that fade off or dissolve are no longer, typically they're no longer useful to you. You don't need them for your lesson plan. You gain whatever you gained from the experiences that you've either been put through or elected to go through. You gained it. So these usually represent conclusions to different matters, kind of an end to certain types of troubles, and then you kind of regaining your energy from those situations, aka taking your power back. So the energy today, highly astral, big time spirit world. Get into your astral vision if you're inclined. Whether you're inclined or not, you may already be experiencing a lot of, real live kind of imagery at the 12D level of your consciousness. You're balancing that out with your crown chakra, so you're balancing that out with your personal sovereignty. Your Aquarian mindset, your mission path and concerns to your group. This can be your kindred, like your what I say, core soul group, the soul group that is aligned with your heart and heart mission. That's, you know what I'm saying? So like your soul tribe, if you will. So what you can find yourself experiencing today as far as release is concerned may not, like I said, be actually be tears, because this card has come up plenty in past readings, and it's not always going to be that. Sometimes it's just advice from spirit to go and take a sea salt bath or go cleanse off your aura, and get different attachments that are on you off of you. The way that I'm feeling this is playing out is depending on how you go about it, because it's always depending on how you go about it. As you detach from kind of these different energetic hooks that no longer serve you or may not have ever served you, some of you may be releasing yourself from actual kind of, traps, mind traps and emotional traps, and it's pretty much the same thing. But depending upon how you go about it, you may also be experiencing a certain level of coming into like the rewards that are associated with it. So it pays to really pay attention to your higher mind, really pay attention to your internal sense of knowing. 7D, that's like, violet flame is associated with this level. Amethyst is associated with this level. So clear cognizance, just knowing, that's really good to work with today. So anything that might rise up, any spiritual attacks, they don't have to be met with fear. They can be met with release. They can be met with conversation. You can just ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your problem? What are you doing here? What do you want? That which is really just on some lurker steez is probably not going to answer. I know in my experience, when, I look something in the face and I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? A lot of times there hasn't been a response. There will be a dissolving, or the negative entity will, kind of fade off. But what's beyond that, I find, is another level of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It's another level of myself. And that opens up new territory, within you, your territory that's within you. So it is empowering. On a mundane level today, y'all might feel kind of spacey. Some of you are going to be very, very drawn to like metaphysical subjects. You might be tuning into a lot of readings today. That thirst for knowledge energy, you can definitely see that coming out of this experience with balancing in this between these points in this binary axis, these dimensional points in this binary axis. I'm wondering if I should. I've been focusing on brevity. I'm wondering if I should pull additional cards of the Quantum Root Oracle cards. Well, Spirit is tapping in. Say maybe one. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna tap in from the Quantum Root Oracle. rather than the tarot. I'm saving, I think a lot of the tarot is going to come up in the pick a card readings, y'all. So those of you who tuned in for that, you can go and check out the pick a card readings. You know what I'm saying? And that way you can exercise your own intuition when you're seeing what you're drawn to and what transmissions, you know, your spirit guides are leading you to, you know, and that helps to exercise, you know, those intuitive muscles, which, you know, is only to the good. All right, let me go ahead and pull a card for, just want to, good comes to me. All right, so this is a day for some pleasant surprises that can arise to kind of inspire some gratitude energy in you. I think the challenge in some of these situations is going to be letting go of grievances. And when I said letting go, you can release, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to submit to an energy that has been nagging you or attacking you. You never have to submit to that. I hear about this submission thing a lot in like different branches of the metaphysical community. If it is not in your authentic will to submit to something that is obviously of a lower vibration and is coming at you, follow that. It doesn't matter what they're trying to throw at you. Stay in your sovereignty, stay in your authentic will. So as you release or up level past, you know what I'm saying? Just up level past these joints. Just detach your emotional perspective from the equation and look at it through your sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? Through the independence that you have at the level of your crown chakra. And it's going to be a lot more illuminating. It's going to make a lot more sense following knowing, because knowing isn't always going to take form. It doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Knowing is coming from, you know, different levels of origin. So on Monday, this is a day, just reading the energies just a moment. It's a day for pleasant surprises, realizations, aha moments, but certain kinds of aha moments that get the wheels turning. I don't know if it's going to be, maybe for some of you, I don't know if it's going to pan out as like you know, a really huge aha moment with all the bells on it, but I think it's like different levels of wisdom, you know what I'm saying, can kind of be unlocked today. All right, okay, so here's the other thing that's coming up. Watch out for any temptations to arguments or conflicts, especially with loved ones or, you know, members of your soul tribe or what have you, because the way the energies are kind of set up, it like you certainly gain more out of these situations by following like really what came through in the monthly. And I do apologize, there was an editing error because I was putting like chunks together of the video. I guess in one of the videos I either cut it off or at a certain thought or cut off, and I apologize if there's any confusion, but if you move past that point, you still get all of the information. But it came up in the monthly that this month, you know, that kind of Aquarian focus it's going to be a big thing for the planet. That 7D energy is going to be a huge thing for the planet. There's a lot of up-leveling going on. Now, people don't always respond. It's like an Aquarian energy, you know, so that you have a reference point of what this energy can be like at certain levels. It's not everyone does well with this energy. People that are stuck in attachments, people that if you're at the kind of the other, you can look at it, even take it to that zodiac construct and look at Leo and Aquarius and how they're set up and how they'll each deal with each other's shadow when they're not balanced. And of course the middle point is what we strive for, but the ego, the shadow end of the ego, of that Leo experience, where it's no longer about being a light for the group, but it's all about being like a light for oneself in a negative way, like a misguided level of selfishness or self-centeredness. That those are the types of experiences that could come up today, depending on how you've been working with the energies through the shift we came through. There has been a lot of, I'm gonna say, dissolving away of some things that really had to go, and certain things that are trying to hold on to you and juice you for energy. They don't let go easily. So when that Lionsgate came through and there was all of that chaos energy, and it was coming through spirit, that we were basically like aligning with the astral positioning that was in alignment with our higher timelines. And there was a lot of focus on getting in touch with the ancestors and sending energy to the ancestors and giving reverence to the ancestors, giving thanks, and reconnecting yourself, is because there's a repositioning taking place here, which means because it took place in the astral, it's not going to come into form that quickly on the planet, because things, even though they're moving faster nowadays, they still move in a certain way here. They still move slow. There are still certain linear things to get through. Keep that in mind. Like, certain relationships have to go through adjustments. This doesn't mean they're going to dissolve away completely if these are really, soul links that are important to you. If they're not, you're going to see exactly why they had to dissolve away. And as hurtful and painful as it can be, in the moment, to release very close relationships that you perceive to be very close, the other side of it is going to show you a level of empowerment that was probably being denied. You were being denied by being in connection to certain people whose intentions were masked, perhaps even from themselves. All right, so these things that happen when we have shifts, it could be hella frustrating, but it is, to an end, absolutely, a positive end. You understand what I'm saying? So it's all how you work with it. So anything that tries to scare you, there could be nightmare energy. Y'all might experience some nightmares last night. Different things attempting to rattle you. By now, you know the deal and you know the program. We've been going through this long enough where you can begin to anticipate the playbook that's being utilized. And you can utilize it to make you stronger as things come at you, rather than fall prey to it and give your energy up to something that is lower vibrational and really negative and lesser than what you're bringing to the table frequency wise. Why would you lower your frequency for something that's really just trying to get what you have on any little bit that it can? It can go on and earn its own thing. You know what I'm saying? Let people go on and figure out their own thing, and start to respect your energy and to accept yourself. And the subtext of the accept yourself card is alchemy. That is the alchemy. Doesn't matter what they throw at you or how they try to make you feel about yourself. The more you accept yourself, game over. All right, y'all? All right. I know I'm coming through kind of serious, but I had to deal with some things earlier that were, I really had to rein myself in and not fall prey to certain things that were trying to push some buttons. It's all useful. And then you get to find out where some of the buttons that you weren't thinking about were, and then you get to figure out what to do about it. All right, y'all. So Monday is just, there's a lot of spiritual activity today. And you can utilize it for good, and you can go into higher vibrations to connect, with your spiritual family, to work out whatever you need to work out. And whenever you have to encounter any challenges and you know what to do, get into that, balance it out with that 7D energy, because the challenges are probably going to be coming from lower vibrating 12D consciousness, the lower end of it. This is where, phantoms and nightmares and, you know what I'm saying? These sorts of things come up to try to rattle you. It's a game for your energy. It's really, really simple. It may not come across that way. It might come across really, it might really shake you, but it's, when you break it down to the basics, it's nothing to be afraid of. So that was pretty long, and I'm trying to keep it brief. I'm going to move on to Tuesday. As you can tell, this is challenging. It's challenging for me to keep it brief sometimes. Tuesday, we're going to be feeling it in our solar plexus. We're going to be feeling it at a certain level of personal power. Whenever 9D comes up, I like to give the warning that, you know, whatever situations you encounter that cause your adrenaline to spike and tempt you to come out of your framework, you know, be careful with it, because you can channel that energy where you want it to go. You don't have to get into a game of binary ping pong with an opposer. 3D consciousness, you know, we talk about 3D all the time. We talk about the simulation. It's a game for power. It's power ping pong. All right. So the more you learn to be non-reactive and selectively responsive, it's like to your benefit. The energies I'm feeling, like in particular, I'm still getting a lot of realization energy. I'm getting a lot of peep game energy. So I think a lot of you are going to be seeing, you know, when people try to challenge you and it's not in an honorable way, you're gonna see it ahead of time so that you don't fall into the trap. So it's probably one of the benefits that kicking off the week with the 12D to 7D energy is going to afford you. The quantum root oracle card that comes up for the day is I am worthy. So this is where they are probably, you know, they meaning, you know, corrupt opposers or people who are under the influence of corrupt opposition energy, are going to try to hit you, is in your sense of worth. Remember, Uranus is in Taurus for the next 7 years, and we may not be, you know, we're not, how do I put this? We're not captive, truly, to the planetary energies, but we do go through it. And it, you know, if you elect to work with the experiences, you know what I'm saying, from an intentional evolution and upgrade standpoint, then you're coming at it from a different perspective, and you get something different out of it, in my experience. So the Uranus and Taurus transit, the waves that are coming off of that, very quantum, and they're changing perspective of what is valuable, what is not. And let's also bear in mind that when Uranus comes around, reversals take place. So those things that society used to value, and often in most senses were hypnotized or forced to value, and sometimes forced in very savage and bloody ways. And you know, I'd like to keep it real, so I don't know who that makes uncomfortable, but let's just be real about what we've been through in society. It's in everyone's best interest as far as personal sovereignty is concerned. That the mind control programs are going out of fashion, but they can go out of fashion in the blink of an eye, because this is Uranus type energy, this is quantum energy. So there's going to be a flip of what has been perceived as the goal. You know, the manufactured dream being the goal. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it, I'm seeing a big old synchronicity. That's out. You know what I'm saying? It's fading. So what we're probably going to be seeing, and I mean, I already know it's what it is we're going to be seeing a return to origin. You know what I'm saying? You know, our roots in the stars, our quantum roots. All right. So there are going to be a lot of changes in society, and there are a lot of changes going on within us. So when someone hits you at your, you know, at your point of value, where you yourself are concerned and how you value yourself, you want to be careful with how you respond to those situations. And I don't, unless there is a need to speak on something because someone is really because they really need to hear it, you know, because it really needs to be said, and you're not kind of acting out of like a desperation of ego or a wound of ego, you can retain your life force energy and your power by, if you have to communicate or you feel a strong need to communicate, remaining composed. That is a sign of true power. You look at martial arts, you look at, like, the true people who have achieved levels of mastery, real mastery, not mastery over, not that nonsense that just isn't even real, but true mastery over self. They're non-reactive, they're responsive. You see what I'm saying? And they can be in the room. You can look at martial arts flicks. They can be in a room with another master, and you'll see the sign of who's reached a higher level of mastery, because that person can respond. That the ego, they don't get caught up in that hot-headed ego mess and fall off. You know what I'm saying? Their moves and their intentions, and get messy. You know what I'm saying? So just a little something to toss out there. You don't have to get pulled. I usually say this when 3D or 9D comes up. You don't have to get pulled into anyone's control drama or power game. Retain your energy. Utilize this energy instead on the higher end, I would suggest. Solar plexus energy on the higher end is where you get in touch with your light beams and how your vibrance and how you bring things to life. And when you're standing like in a light that doesn't scorch, that level of you that's like the hearth, the level of you that's got laughter, you know what I'm saying, and celebration, you know what I'm saying, to share, you know what I'm saying, with your circle. The 90 is a power. It's a power thing, but beyond certain levels, it becomes very easily a non-reactive power thing, in my experience. Well, very easily. Okay, no, not very easily, but once you get to a certain point and you're in your correct framework with your perspective, then it becomes more easeful to respond and retain the wisdom and gain wisdom in situations than to get into messy entanglements with others. And some of those entanglements, depending on what's going on, they can become longer term than you like. So it's best to just be careful what energy you come to with people and what energy you kind of allow to come between you and other folks. All right, y'all? And remember, I am worthy is kind of where they might be trying to hit you in the gut. Whoever comes to kind of corruptly oppose you. I am worthy is a great way to start the day for those of you who are utilizing affirmations on a regular level. And these cards either have affirmations or they have phrases you turn into affirmations. So utilizing it is going to help to get you into the right mental frequency starting off your day. And stay in it. You're worthy. So why would somebody come and test you if they didn't sense your worth and it didn't upset them a little? That's a sign to you. If someone's coming to try and test you and you haven't provoked it, there's something about you that they want to have 9 times out of 10. I feel like I can promise that. All right, y'all. So Tuesday's energies, I'm picking up a lot of I am picking up that power struggle energy, but I'm picking up opportunities to really up level past it in very it almost even feels like jubilant energies. Where's the party at in the positive sense? Just taking yourself there, as opposed to, because you get to certain levels of 9D, and that's, I'm not going to get into all of it right now, but that's where you get into really attracting, what came up in the monthly intentional magnetics, where you really attract from a level of true will, experiences that kind of are dream fulfilling, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So it pays to do the work, y'all. And no, it's not always, fun in the moment, but it pays to do the work. Resist those temptations, because they could, that can knock you down, a few pegs that you got to climb back up, and go through shifts with. So I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there because it's 28 minutes in. Still have 5 days to go over. So I'm probably going to move a little faster now. Wednesday, 7D to 12D. So this is a kind of a reverse of the 12D energies. On Wednesday, I'm getting a lot of journal what comes to you energy, a lot of downloads. The quantum root card that comes up is live your dreams. That card is 10D energy, actually. And it resonates with cat's eye. It's a great stone to work with. Willow, the essence of willow. You can connect with the astral essence of willow in meditation. You can have the willow on, your vision board and utilize it as a meditation board and get in touch with the energy of it. And that'll help you to get into that wave. And this is a great day. It's a great day for teachings, for channeling information on the mundane level of things. On the mundane level of things, take care, because the 7D energy, kind of the binary balancing, could bring out some erratic, intense energies in folks, depending on what vibrational wave your perspective is in. You know what I'm saying? It can make people, if you haven't gotten into a certain level of personal grounding, it can just have you feeling frenetic and all over the place. And with that 12D energy there can also be that spirit world activity that falls in line. This is where like poltergeist activity can happen, in this kind of wave. So, and I'm not saying it's going to happen that way. The quantum root card here is like focus it on living your dreams. So focus that intensity as it comes through on living your dreams. Like, go after what it is you want. It's a great day for artistry, great day for poetry, even spoken word poetry, definitely music. Like, y'all might be making some fire hits on that day. It's a great day for working on it on that wavelength, rather than allowing yourself to get pulled into anything reactive that makes you feel like you're losing your head. So I would say channel it into the arts or something creative, and your creativity can apply to anything. It could be the meal you're putting together. So keep that in mind. I got to move a little more quickly now, because pretty soon I would reach that limit where I can't upload to YouTube, because the video would be too long. Because I use an aggregator right now until I get a camera set up and all of that. Thursday, 5D to 4D energy, and the Quantum Root Oracle card that came up is You Decide Your Purpose. This is a real important energy, and it's coming up this month as a wave that helps you to, how to put it, comprehend how free you actually are in reality, that it's up to you what you experience. And this is kind of like easier said than realized sometimes, depending on what's coming at you and how you're perceiving it and allowing it to take shape, if I'm putting it correctly, like in your sphere, because like your sphere is, sovereign. That's your space. You don't have to let anything in it that you don't want to. And you have the strength and you have the power when you're in the right vibrational frequency and you're in touch with your origin. You have the power to keep anything out that you don't want in it. You have the power to be in a resonance that only attracts resonance that's in harmony, and that's like soul family and spirit family. So, there is some crossroads energy on this day, depending on what you're dealing with. There can be, I don't use this word a lot on the channel because I don't want to empower it. I think people have really come at it fearfully. And a lot of things that have been used as fear tactics, I tend to ignore, because like my whole thing is about like intentional, magnetics and evolution, like me designing where I'm at, so to speak. So, the archonic energy that comes up so much, that it's practically, a buzzword. That's where some of that activity can come up. Some of you might hear a lot of ringing in your ears. You might see, like in the astral vision sense, you might see like metal and like that level of things. You can utilize that 4D energy, the binary points balancing here are 5D and 4D. You can utilize that 4D energy to get into your authentic heart space and vibrate where you want to go. It's crossroads energy. You don't have to be blocked or challenged by anything trying to stand in your way as you're trying to get from point A to point B. So those of you that know what I'm talking about. I hope I've gone over it clearly enough. On a mundane level, I think a lot of people are going to be more focused on Thursday, the way the energy feels. I think you're going to see a lot more studious energy taking place, a lot more contemplative energy. This is more freedom energy, but I think people are starting to pay attention more so en masse. I mean, remember, the earth energies this month are dealing with a lot of 7D energies. There's a lot of crown chakra energy going on. So, you can find yourself, if you're having like maybe you're throwing a small dinner party or get together, a lot of intellectual conversations can come up here. Any lower vibrational 4D stuff that could come up, like emotional challenges, social group issues, group gang ups on one individual, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You can vibrate your way out of it. This is a great time to kind of decide where you want to go and decide your own purpose, decide what you're aligning with. And that's really what the Quantum Root Oracle is an energetic pathway is talking about. That's your way out of whatever comes. You decide where you want to go. You don't have to be choreographed by anything. You can utilize the waves that are coming through. Friday, 10D to 4D energies. Again, that 10D, that's that image ordained wave, and it has a lower and a higher vibration. For sure, it's a dimension. So the 4D energy is what it's balancing with. So you're going to be dealing with some degree of social positioning and your position within social groups. I am worthy comes up again like it did on Tuesday, but here you can take this energy to a different sort of level. This is where the way the energy feels, some of you might be coming into discovery of like your ability to manipulate energy, manifestation work, but at different levels. I'm picking up a lot of self-discovery energy here. And on the positive end of it, depending on what wave you decide to go up in frequency-wise on Friday, if you go up in that higher end of it, this is where you can kind of discover more of, your goddess self and how you image, envision, get into that authentic will energy and ordain, you know what I'm saying, dealing with that zero energy. This is where you ordain and manifest. All right? So it's, I talk about a lot, image ordain. That is, it takes some time to learn how to work with it. You know what I'm saying? But the more you work with your authentic will and you're more clear on who you are and what you're really about and what your true will is versus any puppet strings or triggers that have tried to create a fake character of you, like a simulated character here. When you discover who you actually are, like that's when it's a whole other level. That's when you're getting in touch with, or you are in touch with the origin, and it is a whole different wave than that kind of encapsulated self that on some level has fallen prey, either intentionally, like you came here to do it intentionally, or has just fallen prey to believing you're stuck somewhere for real. For real, you're not. You know what I'm saying? It's just a level. It's a level of perspective. All right. So Friday's energy is just on a mundane level. I think it's going to be party energy on Friday. It's the way it feels. At least what I'm picking up on. It's going to be like get out there and after the way the week flowed, it's get out there and enjoy your energy. So enjoy that free flow. Enjoy that free flow. Enjoy the higher vibrational end of group free flow, and that's how you can balance it. Stay out of egos. Get into like that heart light energy. Work with it that way, and have fun on Friday. Have some fun. You know what I'm saying? And be in that touch with that sense of your worth and value. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. If y'all do karaoke, get up and sing. Or you like to listen to it, get up and sing. Wherever you're going, where there's a group, don't be afraid to shine your light. Great way to work with the energy on Friday. Saturday is 11D, which this may be the first time 11D came up on these weeklies since this channel came into being. 11D is very interesting energy. And 2D energy. So this is balancing with that inner child energy. And the advice here is deal with the flowing sacral. It's the 24th card in the Quantum Root Oracle that came up. This is your sacral chakra, but it's a sacral chakra in a certain kind of wave. Not stagnant water, flowing water. So this is flowing sacral. You want to get into your flow, and that's going to be the best way you deal with this energy, because there can be opposition energy on Saturday that comes for your inner child, that comes at you. And typically where we have stored our traumas is at the inner child level at 2D. All right, so, I don't think I'm going to get too deep into it because these are usually very pivotal experiences. And it's best left to the experience. It's best left to how you as a sovereign being approach any opposition that comes at you at that day. All right. But the advice is coming up from the Quantum Root Oracle. Go into the flowing level of your sacral chakra. Go into that flowing emotion, that calmness, relaxation. This is a great day for, you can light up some candles, pick an affirmation or a mantra. Mantra is mind, tool. Man is mind, tra is tool, in Sanskrit. And affirmations are the same thing, but you can utilize your affirmations on that day, or you can utilize some Sanskrit mantras or from wherever, certain mantras, and just get into a nice flow with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of choose where your consciousness is going to go at that level, and this can help to soothe your inner child. You know what I'm saying? Like dimming the lights and lighting candles with colors that resonate to you. Orange is really great to work with because typically our inner children are looking for, women have been hard body oppressed, so that hurt the child. The damages that were done to the mother hurt the child. So in any given situation, so this is where you can kind of give more of that mother energy and more of that flow energy to your inner child, and this can lessen any opposition, or at least put you in an empowered place when any opposition tries to come for you. You know what I'm saying? And challenge you. And on Saturday, we have, and I didn't end up pulling cards for each day because of the time, really because of the time factor, and I really am very serious about getting a handle on that. But we'll go with the Quantum Root cards that were pre-pulled, and that one card that I pulled, good comes to me, for Monday. Everything happens for a reason, so, there may be some kind of divine orchestration behind that for all we know. So Sunday, moving on to Sunday, the energies, like Friday for Quantum Root advice, and energetic pathways, as you decide your purpose. So be in that same energy. This is dealing with 1D energy. This is like, you can look at it as like pre-incarnational type energy, and it's balancing with, that 3D level of consciousness. It can be competitive consciousness. It can also be shine your light consciousness. Depends on how you work with the energy. Again, be careful for anyone who tries to come at you. Realize that when people are hostile and they're coming at you and you haven't provoked them, typically they're trying to get you for energy because they aren't generating their own. Someone got them, so they feel a deficit and they're trying to get it from you. All right, y'all. So overall, this week is a week about accepting yourself. You can anticipate the different situations that come up being along the lines of those themes, and you, depending on how you deal with it, you can utilize this towards self-empowerment, or you can continue to court your wounds, and be in an ego place with it and learn your lessons that way. It's really all up to you, and it's not to say, depending on your life script, that any way is right or wrong. Some people choose to stay in certain dilemmas because they're studying them from a higher level perspective. So, you know what I'm saying? I always say follow your heart. Really, and the more you do that, you get to differentiate the difference between your heart and the difference between the ego defense system that you have. You know what I'm saying? The ego interface. All right, I hope that this was coherent. I'm working on that. I'm working on brevity and being coherent with what comes through, and a little more focused, because a lot of information has tended to come through and I haven't wanted to lose it, and sometimes it's probably sounded like I've been all over the place, but I'm working on being a lot more focused with it, so that what I extend and what Spirit extends through me can be useful, in the work. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. You are appreciated. Peace and blessings in your ascension journey.